Friends, Susan Axelrod here, confidence coach. Hi, good to see you today. I have an all important question for you to consider. What causes you fear in your business? What about your business causes you fear? What are the fears that come up when you think about your business? Three versions of the same question. In any way, shape, or form, it's likely, since we're human, that there's something that causes us fear in business. And I'm using the word advisedly instead of saying what makes you afraid, because it feels like a different thing to say what causes you fear versus what are you afraid of. Feels to me like those are two different things. Fear to me, when I use it in that way, feels like a big entity. It feels like fear is a big block or barrier to get through. When I say, what are you afraid of? Then it's more internal, like, what are you afraid of? Oh, what am I afraid of? It feels like these are two different things. So I'm asking you this question today because of many reasons. One, it's something I'm working on personally. Now, you know that I always keep it real with you, right? For me, the feedback I get most often about my lives, my personal one-to-one coaching, my group coaching experiences, my group programs, my online course is, Susan, you always keep it real. You're so authentic, because I don't try to overperform any longer. Once I broke through and left my type A personality behind, I don't try to overperform or perform to perfection anymore, because that makes me feel unconfident. When I show up as real, as I do here every day, live at 5 with you, then I can feel more confident and not worry about getting it right all the time. So, sure, I have fears, and I have something going on right now which is showing up for me as a fear that I think I really want to break through. So, I decided to use my own experience with you today to ask you to consider this question: what causes you fear about your business? And when it comes up for you, what do you do about it? How do you break through? So, one of the ways that I break through fears is by knowing my resources, thinking of who's out there, whom can I speak with, what can I access, what can I do about this. Many years ago, my sister shared the acronym with me. I think it was my sister Laura. I'm not sure if it was someone else. That for fear, face everything as real. Face everything as real. I don't know if it was she or somebody else, but I've never forgotten that. And that goes back probably 20, 25 years. And so it might have been something that she learned as well. Face everything as real, because so often fear shows itself from something that actually isn't real. It's something that's in your mind. And so if you face it as real, then you begin to ask yourself, well, what is real about this? What is really happening with this fear that I'm facing, this entity, this big block that's in front of me? What happens if I push through it? What will happen? And that would be the second thing. The first thing I suggested is the idea of accessing resources. Figure out who is it whom I can ask for help, whom can I go to about this thing or that thing, accessing your resources. And the second thing is asking yourself the question, well, what if I actually did break through fear? What if I actually moved it aside, and went through? What would happen if I faced the fear and faced it down and broke through it, what would happen? What would happen on the other side of fear? This is a very powerful tool, a writing exercise for you to do once you identify what these fear points are that come up in you. And so that's another thing that I've done myself. And then a third thing might be to find brave in me, find courage, in me. These are parts of my own. These are my soul. Like, find my brave soul, find my courageous soul, find my risk soul, find my yes soul, instead of coming up to fear and having the no show up, and having the no. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining me today. I'm curious if this resonates with you. If there's fears that come up for you in your business. And I was just talking about finding the soul of brave, the soul of courage, the soul of risk taking, the soul of yes, instead of allowing the block of no, the block of not now, the block of worry and anxiety to really stop you from breaking through. There have been many times that I have faced fear in my business. I had an anchor contract for 15 years with an institution, and it was a big one. It was a big anchor contract that I negotiated from a position of strength because of my expertise that I brought. And so I did that for year after year after year. I kept renewing that contract. And eventually my soul, my business soul, started saying, I want more, I want different, I want out. But the fear that I faced was too strong for me to break through. And I kept staying and staying. It was all okay. It wasn't a bad situation. It was a wonderful situation. But my soul energy of risk and breaking out into who I was intended to be and what I was intended to do, it kept coming up. And I would push it back down. I would suppress it from the fear. And I'll tell you, I have it happening to me right now. This is a big reveal. Like, I have something big like coming up. But you know what? I don't want to wait 5 more years. I don't want to wait 6, 7, 8 more years. That's how long, if I'm honest with myself, at least 5 years, 6 years, I stayed in that safe zone. Now, I was so lucky. The safe zone for me was great. It wasn't bad at all, but it didn't allow me to really break out, really push through to become who I thought that I wanted to be. In the end, when I finally pushed through that fear, I took a risk. I stepped out. I ended that contract that was so safe and lucrative for me. And on the other side was total joy. It was like, I love this, what I do, the coaching, working with women in the second half of life that I do every day. I couldn't know what I didn't know, right? We sit on this side of fear, kind of shaking a little bit, not knowing what we can't know, not knowing what's on the other side. But what informs me now at this time is going back and checking in with myself on other times that I sat on this side of fear, not being brave enough to break through. And so even I'm having epiphanies as I'm saying this to you in real time. Honestly, this is so amazing. I love my life every day. I'm honestly having my own epiphanies as I'm even sitting here saying, allowing, whatever is coming forth through me to share with you today. So another thing that I could say that is not overly risky, that's not too much to take, not too much to bear, is to give yourself permission to write out the story. Either write it out if you journal or speak it out in a safe, with a safe friend. the story of what could be if you push through that fear that is right here, like, in front of your face. And so that's another way, a fourth way to really figure out how to break through fear. That you could tell the story of what's on the other side. What does it look like in crystal clear focus, technicolor detail that you see on the other side? If you thought about breaking through fear, what would you see on the other side? All right, I'm very interested in your feedback on this. I want to hear about your fears. Please share them in the comments. If you see this by video, type in #replay. And you don't have to reveal your fear. It's more like I want to know from you, have you ever broken through a fear? How did you do it? How did it work for you? What did you find on the other side? What did it feel like on the other side? You don't have to reveal your fears here. That's not necessary. We're talking about the idea of breaking through a fear. So I hope this has really titillated you and provoked you today, because I can't imagine a human in business who doesn't have some kind of fear. And the question is how we let fear stop us and block us and prevent us from really rising into the highest vibration, into the intuitive business output that is intended for us. Okay, well, I have a lot to think about. I hope you do too. I want to remind you this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern is our podcast, Webcam Confidence for Women. If you know that you're going to be using video or making recordings or whatever as part of your business, then you can join us on Friday on Transformation Talk Radio. All right, friends, I got to run. I'm going to be thinking about this, and I would really love to hear your comments. All right? All right. I'll see you tomorrow for Live at 5. Bye-bye.